Nobody wants to get united. Like, what we gotta do is meet everybody in 149th Street at the bench.
Alright, you guys keep hitting me up constantly about, John, I can't get a legal wall. How do I go to Brahmin if I get illegal walls? So today I'm gonna, I don't even know if that was English. So today I'm gonna give you 5 alternatives to painting a legal wall that are not illegal. I should probably throw that in there. Stop laughing over there. And admittedly, you're gonna get more than 5 alternatives because I have a little bit of a list here. And with these alternatives, it should be pretty much accessible to anybody and everybody. So there should be no reason for you guys to not be painting walls other than you guys don't have money for paint. So number 1, sheetrock. If you're able to, you can build yourself your own wall out of sheetrock. I know a lot of the homies from way back in the day, they used to do exactly this. They used to dedicate a room or a wall in their house or even their garage where they would build themselves a little wall of sheetrock. And with this, it's really low preparation, although you guys who are a little bit on the younger edge may not be able to either get access to sheetrock or may not be able to actually build yourselves a wall with sheetrock, which is completely understandable. But if you have the capability to do that, this is a great alternative. For those of you guys who aren't really able to either get a handle on sheetrock or can't prepare the entire wall be dedicated to graffiti using sheetrock, you can use plywood. This is a great alternative. It's really cheap, but the only downside is plywood is really absorbent. And as a result, you'll have to prime the surface a ton before you're able to actually use it in replacement of a wall. Another great benefit of this is you don't actually have to like post it up on the wall. All you have to do is just lean it up against the wall and you're perfectly fine. Although leaning it against the wall may not be the most ideal scenario, it's certainly better than not having anything at all. And you can get this stuff real cheap for like 10 bucks, 4 feet by 8 feet. I know a friend of mine actually went through with that and it's been working out great for them so far. Now obviously on the note of building your own wall, you can clearly build one in your backyard if you would like, which is another great alternative, and we all know Smo, that's what he did. He has a wall dedicated in his backyard, which is really dope. On that note, I don't want to really add this one to the list because I feel like anybody who's thought of this has probably already done it. Alright, so this next one is not the most ideal, but it certainly is accessible, and that would be tarp. Now this something is really easy to use. All you gotta do is go out to like your hardware store, get yourself some tarp, and you can just nail it to the wall or hook it to the wall, whatever the case is. You can just get it up there real nice and easy. You can do this inside your house, whether it's a garage, or you could even do it on a fence in your backyard. Either way, really easy solution, very accessible. Once again, not the most ideal. I imagine, I've never really painted on tarp, but I imagine if you're trying to do a piece on this thing, you may not have the best time just because the paint isn't going to be as absorbent on that surface, and the paint may run quite a bit. Next up, we have cardboard. And I actually used this at one point, back when I was being monitored for 7 years, and everything I was doing was being recorded, which was a blast. And not only is this super accessible, but it's also really easy. You can either just buy cardboard boxes and stack them on top of one another if you have the space for that, or you can simply dismantle a cardboard box and then plop it up on the wall with multiple boxes, which is what I did with moving boxes, and you have yourself a little bit of a wall there. And once again, this just speaks to the accessibility and kind of the desperation of the graffiti artist. You know, some of you guys in the DMs, you hit me up and you seem like you want to paint bad enough, and this is certainly an accessible route you can take in order to go ahead and paint. And lastly, the most obvious one, the one that you guys have been screaming at your computer for the longest, and that is saran wrap. It has a bunch of different names depending on your region. Some of you guys know it as cellophane, some of you guys know it as plastic wrap. Depending on where you're from, I've heard you guys in the comments say it in immense different ways that I've never heard it referred to as before, but it's essentially the clear stuff. You can literally buy this stuff in bulk and it comes with way too much, more than you'll ever need, and you can take this thing outside, find any 2 things that are vertical and wrap it between those 2 things, and there you go, you got yourself a wall. It's that easy, that simple. It's not necessarily illegal either, just because like if the cops come and tell you that what you're doing is wrong, you can simply just take it down with no harm to anybody's property. So you don't really get any flack for it, nobody ever gives you any hassle for it, and when they do, it's an easy fix. You know, you don't even get a slap on the hand. They just say, hey, can you not do that? And then you simply just proceed by not doing that, and you're good to go. The only downside, and the thing I hated about painting on this, is if it's a windy day, or if there's any kind of wind ever, that saran wrap is gonna flail all over the place. And also, sometimes, which happens to me quite a bit, if you're trying to cut a line, your finger may get snagged on the saran wrap, and you'll end up tugging at it, which that's always kind of obnoxious. It's a little annoying. But if you're okay with those things, that is another great solution, and in my opinion, although not the best solution, it's certainly up there. And lastly, probably the least accessible and the hardest one to do is to make your own legal wall. If you live in a populated area, if you live in like a city or something of that sort, it may be a little bit easier, but you can go to different establishments and ask them if you can paint their walls. And although you only have access to this with their permission, so it's not as accessible, it can also lead to you doing this as a career, which, well, what's better than that? So those are a bunch of different alternatives to legal illegal walls if you don't have one readily accessible to you. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, I hope this video helped you guys. If it did, be sure to hit the like button down below, and feel free to tell me your own alternatives to legal walls. I'd absolutely love to hear it. You know, as always, this is a community channel, so hearing back from you guys is always welcome. For those of you guys who are new here, we come out with 2 videos a week, and if you'd like, you can watch more videos on the screen now. Anyway, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.